Now, the summer holiday season is almost upon us. We might be thinking about updating our wardrobes, but apparently the days of ordering loads of stuff online and then sending back all the stuff we don't want to keep may be over, because retailers are talking about charging more of us for returning unwanted items.
Yeah, so the question is that making us change our shopping habits, which have already changed actually when the shops were closed during COVID and all the rest of it. Ben, we've had loads of response actually from viewers, haven't we? But how is this change affecting people, and is it going to cost us more?
Yes, they're not only talking about these charges. A lot of retailers have actually introduced them already. And, you know, part of it's our habit. We got so used to free delivery, free returns, especially during those COVID lockdowns. And so this is partly in response to that and the costs that retailers are facing. Good morning. The online fashion retailer Pretty Little Thing was criticised this week for deactivating some customer accounts because of the number of times they've returned items. It recently introduced a fee of £1.99 on returns, and that is deducted from the amount of your refund. The retailer is part of the Boohoo Group, but similar charges have also been introduced by high street giants, including Next, Uniqlo and Sports Direct, for online returns. Why? Well, returns are becoming a big problem for retailers. In fact, about 30% of clothes bought online are returned, according to one study. And once an item is back and processed, it cannot be resold at full price. That's costly for an industry that has been struggling following a boom during COVID. Now, shoppers often use the free returns policy to buy several items and refund any that don't fit or that they don't need or want. A lot of you have been in touch this morning on WhatsApp and email. Lucy in Dorset, Sarah in Northern Ireland say that if sizing was more accurate and consistent, there'd be far fewer returns. Richard says he knows of people wearing things once, then sending them back as unworn. He thinks if the customers made a mistake or changed their mind, they should pay. If the item's faulty or damaged, the company should cover the cost. Liz in Glasgow says the carbon footprint involved in returning items means a charge is fair. Here's what some shoppers told us in York.
You can't try them on online, so if it doesn't fit, I'll return it. If it's more expensive, I'd rather just go in person.
When I online shop, it's like convenience and the fact that you can return quite easily. It was quite easy before, so the fact that they're charging for returns, I mean, maybe people will stop shopping online as much, I guess.
It kind of makes sense, but then people need to shop on the high street more because, yeah, the high street is dying, isn't it? So I get why they're doing it. But I wish that the high street was booming a bit more.
Well, Elizabeth Stiles joins us now, retail expert. Thanks very much for being with us. We've heard the problem that this poses for customers because of the wrong sizes or damaged items arriving. We've heard of the problem for retailers in the costs involved. What's the answer?
Well, I think the first thing is that returns are never free. Someone's paying somewhere. And up until now, the retailers have been paying that. But like you mentioned, the cost of living crisis is having an impact.
So what do you think, what's the way around it then? Because if you know, part of the problem seems to be, according to what our viewers' experiences are, sizing is inconsistent. And even there was one message that said the same clothes, the same trousers in different colours came up as different sizes. One was like skinny fit, the other was like flares. So yeah. Some of them had to go back. Is sizing the issue, do you think?
Definitely. I think that's a way around it. And somebody like ASOS was so ahead of their time putting video on the website. And to be honest, I don't know why more retailers aren't doing that. They've already got the studio, they've hired the model. To hire a videographer as well would surely help. You know, seeing it on video, you understand the fit, the drape, the transparency of the fabric, how it moves. And so I think video has massively reduced the amount of returns on that website specifically. And so hopefully being able to see that on other websites moving forward would really help as well.
I mean, all these online retailers have jumped into a market, you were talking about during COVID, that everyone got used to not going to shops. So it's really affected high streets, that everyone's buying stuff online. And yet now you're going to be paying for the privilege of having stuff to your home. I mean, I do it myself. I'll order things in 2 different sizes because you just never know which one's going to fit. So is it going to impact their sales if they're now saying, do you know what, you can't send it back for free?
I think it could impact their sales, definitely, but there must be a reason why they're doing it. And I'm wondering whether potentially their turnover might drop, but their profit would increase because it is impacting their profit. You know, like I said, there's the cost of returns, there's the cost of shipping, there's the cost of processing it back into the warehouse. And there is actually there is a theory I've heard that the stock is actually so low value sometimes that it's not even worth putting it back into the warehouse, so it will actually just get binned.
Really? What a waste.
I know.
There's another approach that I've heard some retailers do in the US on the quiet.
Yeah.
But some of the big ones, Amazon and Target, will say if someone's trying to get an item refunded, they'll say, look, we've processed the refund, keep the item, recycle it, donate it, because the cost to them, it's easier for them to leave the customer to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I bought something recently, I think it was £10, it was something for my Hoover, and it cost me £11 to send it back, and it just doesn't make financial sense. But yeah, that is a possibility, but I don't think they'll be advertising it, like you said.
I think the worry is people could abuse it, don't they?
Definitely.
And they're working
yeah.
out who are the genuine customers. Elizabeth, really good to get your thoughts on that. Thank you. And it's really, really resonated with our viewers. So many comments, emails, WhatsApps, and thanks to everyone for those this morning as well.
Can you get free returns on England tickets?
That's optimistic, John.
Some people might be wanting that this morning.